Crystal here. I'm from Crystal Clear ESL, coming at you live through StreamYard. It's one of my first times practicing this, so please bear with me. I'm super excited about this Q&A today because we are with none other than Tim Gascoigne, the online teacher dude, who I'm sure that you all know and are fond of and appreciate all his excellent resources. So without further ado, here is Tim. Hi, Tim.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, Crystal.
How's it
Thanks for
going?
having me. Yeah, it's going well.
Good. So I
How are
thought that, oh yeah, good. Thank you. I thought we could start off by you just introducing yourself and what you do and any pertinent background.
Sure. So I live in Bangkok, Thailand. That's why it's dark out right now. And I've lived in Asia for about 11 years. I taught in China, in Beijing, and then I taught in Malaysia. And then I resigned from teaching and took up online teaching. And then I moved to Thailand about 6 months ago. I'm kind of a world traveler, I guess, in so many words. I kind of call myself like a third culture kid in that I was born in Bermuda, but I was born to a Canadian mother and a British father. So I have tri-citizenship, I guess. I have 3 passports.
Wow.
And I really call, like, Bermuda is where I grew up and where my family is, but Canada is also really home to me because I moved there when I was 18 and went to university there and started my teaching career there. And I love Canada. So
Me too.
yeah.
And yet neither of us are there.
Exactly. I know. I love it enough that I don't want to be there every winter, but I do miss the season change. I mean, gosh, I haven't been in season changes in so long. But that's me. I'm a teacher at heart and still teaching, and have an online brand called Online Teacher Dude, where I have YouTube channel and a website and help and serve teachers in different ways through those means. Yeah.
Awesome. Good. So you're here today to talk to us about the topic, diversify your ESL job. Let's get started and kick that off with the question. In light of the recent changes to education policy within China, is a full-time income within ESL, online ESL, still viable, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think the term full time means different things to different people. Like for me, when I was doing work with companies, it was full time for me to make enough that, I was able to pay the rent, and cost of living was really low in Asia. So I always called it full time, but
Right.
I definitely didn't work as much as I could. And when companies were doing really well 4 or 5 years ago, there was potential certainly to work full time and make a full time income. And I think things have really changed lately, especially with, even before things happened in China, it was getting a little bit more saturated. It was getting a little bit more competitive. Wages were starting to decrease, and teachers were struggling with bookings, especially if you were only working with one ESL company. So if you were kind of living and dying by one company brand, then it was difficult. Sometimes certain people were able to work full time, and lots of teachers did that. But I think it was important for teachers to diversify, which is what we're talking about, but and look outside of that company. And then, of course, with the recent changes in China in August, the China crash, I guess you could call it. I think it's much harder for sure to work full time, especially with a company. I do get a lot of people asking me, like, I had someone the other day say that they really wanted to quit their full-time teaching job, and would they be able to walk into a company tomorrow and make a full-time income? My answer is no. You're not going to be able to do that. You really need to kind of set yourself up for that success. And it's like anything, you need to look at it as a business. And when you frame it in that way, businesses don't become successful overnight. You have to work at it and build at it. And can you work full-time? Yes, sure. But it's more difficult, more challenging.
What would you say some of those challenges are now more than ever before?
Well, with just the lack of opportunity in China with companies, I think you're limited if you're looking at starting with a company, which I still think is a good way to get into the industry. You're looking at lower pay. So, viability of a full-time income is going to be much more difficult. You're going to have to work more hours, and grind a lot more than you would if you were, working for a Chinese company. And saturation as well. A lot of companies are, over saturated right now with teachers who are moving out of the industry in China and trying to find something to replace that. And, everybody is kind of in all the well-known non-Chinese companies right now. So that's a challenge as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would your advice be to people who worked previously in contracted roles, probably in China, and are now afloat, let's say? What would you tell them to do first off?
Right. So I tell teachers to really take a step back from everything and really look at what you want and need to do for your family, for your financial needs, and not to necessarily get caught up in the mass hype of what everyone else is doing. I think it's easy to look at what other teachers are doing and have that long list of maybe over 100 companies that you've heard about on Facebook, and not to just go chasing and applying to everything that's out there, but to think about like what's important for me right now. Apply to some companies if you'd like to. But don't discount the skills that you've learned as an online ESL teacher and how that can transfer into other things. And maybe you want to move out of the industry, and that's not a failure. Actually, it's common for us to move into and to pivot into other industries. I think I saw research that shows nowadays, on average, we tend to have 7 or 8 different career changes. So
Yes, that's
maybe
right.
VIP Kid or Goga Kid was just for a season, and you learned things and you grew and you built up skills that are now so transferable to other things. So, don't discount that. But if you want to stay in online teaching, I think it's the entrepreneurs that are going to be the ones that make it, and the ones that do really well in it, and those that see this as something that they can build for themselves and create a product around that is marketable.
Right. I totally agree. Do you think that advice transfers well to people brand new to this industry? Or does it differ if you're coming at things right now for the first time?
Yeah. So, and I also get brand new online teachers that are like, what happened in China? They were so excited to get started. And now it's like, what do you mean? If you're okay looking at things from a part-time angle, which is what it would be to start out with for sure, then, go for it. Go for, getting experience with a company is a great way to get started, especially if you're not already a teacher and you're kind of, all of this stuff is really brand new. So I think that, getting started with a company is not a bad way to go. It's just, it is more difficult to get started in that way right now.
Yes, I agree. Before the China crash, I always advise people who are new to the industry to definitely look for a contracted role to start out, even if they were classroom teachers before, because this online dynamic is so different to any other teaching.
And look, companies give you everything, right? They give you the curriculum, they give you the students, they give you the pay, they give you the materials, the support, the training. It's all there for you. So there's something to be said about that. But don't think of it as your long-term goal. Yeah.
Right. Of course.
Think about how you can use that to springboard into something else.
Right, which is exactly leading to what I wanted to ask you next. What would you say are the most common ways that people in our industry diversify their job right now?
Well, the most obvious way, I guess, would be with not just getting stuck into one company. I think that was something that teachers were awakened to in August. Like, oh my gosh, I'm only with VIP Kid. I was gonna, live and die by the color orange. I can't think, so that idea of diversifying and getting on with other companies was something that a lot of teachers were forced into doing. So that's an obvious way to sort of get started, and definitely don't put all your eggs in one basket. Look at what works for one person isn't going to work for everybody. So just because someone had a bad experience at Cambly, and didn't get many bookings, for example, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful. So do things for yourself, try them out, diversify with other companies, and have 3 or 4 in your back pocket that you can rely on. I always had several companies in case something happened with the main one that I was working with. So Yeah, I think that's one great way. I think marketplaces as well are another, type of company platform that teachers are using to get that entrepreneurial experience of marketing your own classes and thinking about what do you offer as a teacher that isn't just maybe general ESL or
Right.
isn't like in a specific niche. So marketplaces are really good avenues to go down, like Outschool, Kid Pass. There's
They're great,
dozens.
like middle of the road, aren't they? They provide a lot
Yeah,
of the payment and the scheduling that you wouldn't get as a freelancer, but then you're on your own for things like marketing and curriculum. So
yeah.
it's like a halfway
And I
point.
like to think of anything that you do that's generating income as always having those, your two buckets. I call it the A bucket and the B bucket. And your A bucket is the stable job. So look, if you need to keep teaching or keep your regular job while you're building up online teaching, then do that. You need to be able to pay the bills. You need to have the stability. And then you
Yeah.
build what you want on the side as you have time for when you're, at least able to bring a paycheck home every day and work on the passion project, the B bucket I call it, on the side. And then
Right.
once that becomes a more secure job, then you can let go of the A bucket and you can start thinking about, and that becomes your A bucket, and you can start thinking about what is the ultimate thing that I really want to be doing that would really allow me to charge what I'm worth as a teacher or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Once your side hustle has become a little bit more stable, your online teaching has become a little bit
Yeah.
more stable.
I agree. In fact, it
Mm.
sometimes makes me a little bit upset. It's a strong word for this scenario, but a little bit
Uh-huh.
upset when you see on these giant English teaching forums on Facebook and whatnot, and you've got a
Yeah,
job ad that maybe pays a little less than what is the average. And I'm thinking, this job could appeal to people for so many reasons that we're not factoring. Maybe they're living in an area where the average living wage is less. Maybe they're just looking for experience or a leg in the
yeah,
door or their A bucket so they can build up their B bucket. I think people
yeah,
are really quick to judge. And also with the changes that have happened, you touched on it earlier, the pay rates of the market are drastically affected already. So I think
yes.
people should maybe reserve judgment a little bit on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the perfect example, the VIP Kid Global platform, they pay $7 a class. Yes, that is a pay cut, but that
Mm.
could be life-changing for somebody who needs it, right? So I
Yes.
don't um, come down on anybody that wants to choose that for themselves.
Right.
If I
Yeah,
needed it, I would do it too, but we're all at
exactly.
different positions with what is important to us. And so, yeah, I agree with you. People are quick
Yeah,
to
for
judge.
sure. I mean, it's a great gig. I loved my days with VIP Kids. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
skip ahead. Can anybody be successful in freelancing, do you think?
Well, I think that those that are successful are the ones that see it and they're in it for the long haul. So those that, really put the effort in. Sure. I
Yeah.
think that anybody can be if you have a skill set, if you have an offer and you can provide results for students, that's the key. I think is, can you provide results for students? And whether you're a teacher or not, you don't have to have been a trained teacher. But yes, absolutely, I think that anybody can. But I think it's the ones that are able to learn quickly and reframe their mindset around what it means to run your own gig.
Right.
Then those are the ones that will be successful. But sure, yeah, I
Right.
think that with the right training, with the right approach, you can be successful. Yeah.
Certainly. Yeah. I love what Patricia has commented over here. She's saying that she's working for iTutor Group, mostly booking weekends, as well as
Oh, I know
magic
Patricia.
years. Yeah. Say
Yes, I was just
hi.
recognize her last name. Yeah.
Yep. As well as magic years on weekdays and supplements with some independent students while she tries to do her B bucket, I'm guessing, which is to create an online preschool. So I
Yes.
think that she's really going about it the right way, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I still can't believe that Magic Years is hanging in there. But
Yes.
yeah, iTutor Group as well. I think they're in Taiwan.
Mm.
That's great. I mean, that's right. There's, Absolutely. You're working for a couple of companies, you're doing it all the right way, and you're kind of working on that side project as well, which I hope you get going soon because I remember you talking about that a little while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
it's
Yeah,
not, I love that Patricia's side project isn't just like grab any kind of student that she can find. She's got a
yeah,
clear niche here, and
yeah,
it's not something that every Tom, Dick, and Harry teacher are going for. And I think that's
yeah.
probably a really smart way forward.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So we're rooting for you, Patricia.
Yes.
What would you say are some of the lesser known ways that teachers can diversify within this industry, Tim?
Yeah. So I think there's such an opportunity for teachers because I think that teachers are so entrepreneurial, they just don't realize it. I think that there's such an opportunity for teachers to examine their skill set and to create their own offer. So whatever that looks like, it could be something different for maybe you want to serve teachers, which is kind of what I do as well as students, but maybe you've got something really creative in mind that's very niche specific that you could develop for students. Maybe it's a course or something that's a unique product. But I think building your own thing is just the way forward, where you rely on you and you alone and not somebody else. I mean, isn't that like the dream and the goal, is to be able to, for a lot of people, to work for yourself. So yeah, I think those are, what was the question again? Lesser known
Yeah,
ways
so
to
lesser known
diversify?
ways to diversify. So maybe things that isn't like directly student focused.
Right. And I guess piggybacking on those skills, like you have skills that you could offer into other types of jobs, like help VA work or doing transcribing or doing other, skills online that you've learned as an online ESL teacher. There's a lot of
Right.
opportunity there. What I've done is sort of create a brand and a channel to help teachers and, answer people's questions and to show up and add value. And through that, I've diversified in immense different ways within my online brand by doing affiliate marketing, doing recruiting, offering courses, offering my own things, teaching freelance students, teaching with companies. So I think when you get over I'm just an ESL teacher working for a company, and you start to see yourself as a real person who has a lot to offer and value, then
Yeah.
there's no ceiling to what's possible in the online world. There really isn't.
It's kind of like the more creative, the better in a way,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah,
chances are
absolutely.
someone's not doing it yet.
Yep, yep, exactly.
Which is what
So
I found with Crystal Clear ESL, but there's other opportunities for curriculum development. There is, for example, web-based support, so helping
yeah,
teachers create websites, easy
mm,
websites.
mhm,
Just so many things that you could still be linked, that they would still complement your more part-time teaching role, but aren't
yeah.
necessarily teaching themselves. I loved
Yeah,
what
or
you
maybe you
said.
wanna create courses for students as well, like,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
great passive source of passive income. Like, I've also thought about, that as I've gotten more into freelancing. Like, the potential is there for, what is it? Asynchronous learning? I forget the term. Where you're not, you're like courses that students are learning on their own time, like,
Right, and
that
then you
could be
only check
the
in.
way forward. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
self-guided even, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, what was I thinking of just then that I thought would be, oh, right. So there's lots of coaches, for various things, but one that I haven't seen that might be cool is like, an education, like a teaching skills course. So not necessarily the business side, but rather skills on how to be a dynamic online teacher, or
Yes.
even if you can somehow get around or work in the whole safeguarding issue, but to have
Yeah.
observations and then feedback for improvement. I
Yep.
think that would be great.
Yeah, so cool. And I also think of like my friend Amanda Panda Teacher, who do you know who she is?
I've heard of her. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So she created a course on um ManyCam, using digital FX in your classroom.
Exactly.
And that was really successful. And she helped a lot of teachers to like up their game with digital technology. And she was a digital IT school coach, in her brick and mortar school. So took a lot of those skills, and
Right.
I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah.
Thinking outside the box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But serve first, offer value, answer people's questions, listen to what people are talking about. Like,
Yeah.
obviously there's a lot going on right now. There's a huge shift. And so, you can provide value and show up and help people in that way.
Yeah. I think that's key what you just said about listening. I think
Mhm.
by listening, you find out what other teachers' needs are, and
Yeah.
that can help you hone in on where the opportunities for you to support are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. Anyone
So
have any questions?
Roseanne commented earlier that she loves your comment when you said rely on you and you alone. But I wonder on the flip side, so we don't want to give anybody false pretenses here. On the flip side, what are some of the potential disadvantages to relying on you and you alone?
Yeah. So what was the comment? Rely on you.
She just said she loved the phrasing that you use.
Oh, when I'm talking about like working for just yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, gosh. I mean, of course, it's another world because you're responsible for so many things, and it can be a lonely world as well because you're working on your own all the time,
Totally.
right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. But I still go back to you need to have either that stable income or that opportunity to go back to that stable income quickly if you need to. And so I've also thought of like, to just take about my own experience. I mean, I don't, it's variable. Like everything we do online, it's up and down, it's variable. And I've thought I have to have a plan if things don't work or if I get into, desperate times call for desperate measures. So, I would just go back to teaching in a school if I had to, but I've got that there in case. So yeah. And you got to take care of yourself. You've got to save, you've got to put the money aside. You've got to think about all those things.
Have a backup plan and a backup nest egg where possible.
Yes. A backup to the backup.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody, I have a few questions left for Tim, but I'd also love for you to give him some challenges.
Yeah, sure.
So there is a bit of a delay in the comments section. So start putting your questions in now and we'll see how many we can get to, okay?
Yeah, good to see folks chatting. Sandy,
Yeah.
hey Sandy, I know who you are. Hey, Crystal and Tim from Newcastle, England. I was all in with VIP Kid, 80 classes a week. It has forced me to diversify now. I follow both of you because I'm going to try my beat bucket independently. Thank you for all your great info. Awesome, Kyle. Very cool.
Love it. Yeah. I like that Patricia liked my idea about the observation and skill assistant. You go for it, Patricia.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll say, like, I'm always thinking of, not always about the financial side of things. Of course, when you're running your own thing, you do need to think of those things. But I'm always like looking for, I've had transition in the last few months with what's going on. So I've had to pivot my content a little bit. I've had to, take my skills and expertise and experience and offer it in different ways. And so I'm always looking at like new opportunities. And that's the thing, I guess, about being an entrepreneur. You're never satisfied. You're always like looking for like, okay, what's then you just have too many things going on. You do have to be careful.
I totally agree. It's like I was in tunnel vision as a teacher. And then when I opened my horizons to Crystal Clear ESL, it's like now every idea smacks me in the face. and I have a hard time focusing on just one. I mean, I can, but
object syndrome, it's real.
Exactly. It's so much fun though. And it's much
but I
more
often
sparky.
think like life was very simple when I was just a teacher.
Yeah, it was exactly. You knew what every day was gonna look like.
I came home at 4:30 or 5 at the latest, and I, might have had a little bit of prep work, but not much. And
different story to teaching here in the UK.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. It was demanding. I worked in international schools. It was demanding, but
in a different way.
It was different, for sure.
Yeah. really high energy. So where has been your greatest success, would you say? What part of your diversification has been successful?
Well, different things. I would say it started with so I saw an opportunity with VIP Kid to recruit. So
Yeah.
recruiting with online ESL companies gave you a referral bonus. And I thought I could do that. Like I'll, and so I started my YouTube channel and that became incredibly uh, profitable very quickly as I, kind of found ways to offer support and maybe angle things a little bit differently than other people. So I quickly found success with that, and then really that opened my world to other opportunities. And like
Right.
instead of just showing up and clicking through the slides, I had this little thing on the side that was profitable and I was helping teachers. And then that just kind of opened up to more like a YouTube channel and a website and like coaching and courses and my own products and affiliate marketing and my own students. So it was working for VIP Kid that opened the doors for me to other things.
Right.
I started
Amazing.
to think more business minded, like thinking about the marketing and thinking about, creating things. I had to create a website and I had to like learn new skills, designing stuff and all this stuff that was not something I ever learned as a teacher. I mean, I think I used like paint before to like make something in school. Like even in school, we just don't, as teachers, we didn't really have to do a lot of that stuff. I don't know. I
But
guess
they've
if you
also come
use
on a
something,
bit in the last
they
few
have,
years.
yeah, they have. But yeah, I just go to Teachers Pay Teachers usually and buy something that I needed. Usually, like
Yeah.
it was just, but it was those Teachers Pay Teachers. They had it. They were clued in, and they saw an opportunity to take their skills with
Right.
creating
Way
and like.
back when. Yeah,
I
exactly.
know, yeah, gosh.
Early
I
days.
mean, if I only had the sense. I still, I still think about a TPT store. I still think like I could, but I don't know. It's not for everyone, and it does take a long
Yeah.
time to build.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's
recruiting
true.
was the biggest thing for me. Recruiting for companies, and then now offering my own stuff, like where
Yeah.
I create it and I sell it, whether that's classes to students or courses for teachers or coaching or whatever it is. That's been the best when it's not
Cool.
relied on by you know an outside source.
Right, exactly.
Because recruiting
Perfect.
was completely dependent. I mean, VIP Kid just shut it down one day. They just went, "We're not giving you the extra bonuses,"
Oh my
and
goodness. And
I
it's just
lost a lot. And then they just all stopped operating in a few months ago, basically, and stopped hiring
yeah.
teachers. So
Yeah.
that I saw the wave kind of coming in June and July, and I had some other companies that I was recruiting for, but it
Right.
was it's not the same for sure. I lost that source of income, so
Which actually is something else that we didn't mention for diversifying, or at least not in detail, about affiliate marketing. Like if you come across a product or service that you love, you can potentially make
yeah,
money.
that's
Yeah.
totally. I don't talk about that a lot because it's not for everybody, but it is a great it is great. It's a great source of income, if you have a bit of an online presence and you want to, promote things. Yeah, for sure. Even if
Right.
even if you don't have a big presence, you can still, definitely recommend products and things like that. But yes,
Yeah.
affiliate marketing has been a nice source of income for me as well,
Cool.
all through
And
the
drawing
YouTube channel.
Yeah, yeah. Drawing on
Yeah.
that too, if for some reason you have access to more students than you can teach, you can start your own school, or you can actually act as a sort of middleman to introduce these students to other teachers for a fee. So,
Yes. Yes. So that's ticking around my brain as well, but it's a whole
right.
other thing. But yeah, absolutely. Someone
Um,
asked, how do you begin with affiliate marketing? Can I
yeah,
address that?
I
So
was just
affiliate
gonna
marketing essentially is recommending a product. The company pays you a percentage of, the purchase of that product, and you can make what they call affiliate commissions. But anything, I believe, where it's receiving money online for something comes from you showing up and you know building know, like, and trust with people. so that they can, trust what you're recommending. So I believe that's the most success I've had with affiliate marketing is from that. There's obviously ways to create websites and affiliate marketing sites where it's, more passive income and people are finding you organically. If you search in for the best camping gear in the UK, you're going to find a sites with affiliate products on there, and they've done well with, website SEO and things like that. So that's
Right.
a little bit different than, like someone like you or I going online and saying, I recommend a particular thing. So
Right.
if you watch my videos, I've done a little bit of that with different things over the years, that I use and are tried and true for me. I think that's really important. Don't recommend things that you don't think are good.
Right.
Product.
Yeah. Like Teresa just asked, do you approach them directly? Lots of bigger companies will have an affiliate page where you can apply to become an affiliate. And for smaller, less developed companies, I think, yes, you can just pop them an email and say, listen, I love your product or service. Would you consider an affiliate scheme?
Yep. And a great one for ESL teachers is the TESOL certificate. That's always been a good one for me. They pay 30% of, it's only a $20 certificate, but
still,
I have the number one video on YouTube when you search online TESOL. So when you search, it used to be a month ago, I haven't checked, but when you search that, and I made that video like just sharing the TESOL. I didn't know it was going to be the top searched video, but for a while, that was a great affiliate. But yeah, you can reach out to companies, and like you said, most of them will have at the bottom affiliate application or something. You can recommend things.
I think you're not guaranteed to get it either. I think that the companies
they like to see that you have a bit of they'll assess you, and sometimes, if you have an online presence, they'll reach out to you and want to work with you. So
right. Patricia asked, would either of us ever go back into the physical classroom?
Oh, what a question. Probably no, because it's funny. My mother always asks, so what do you exactly do? When I all my friends want to know what you do. And I'm like, well, I do this and this. And they're like, she's like, I just don't get it. It was so clear when you were a teacher and you were doing so well. And I mean, she said, you're doing well now, but I know I wouldn't probably, unless I really had to. No.
Yeah, it's a backup plan. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a backup plan. I've been out of it for 5 years, and I don't know. It'd be hard. It would be hard to go back, but there'll be a time, I think, when maybe not necessarily teaching, but maybe I will want to look for something a little bit different. I don't know, because I never want to burn out of this, and I want to always enjoy it. And online teaching is great, and it has so much opportunity and potential. So I'm not done with it for sure, but I don't know, probably not. Would you?
I feel the same. No, it's a backup plan. It's one of those things that I qualified and got some experience in because I knew that there's this perpetual shortage of secondary English teachers, at least in the UK. Maybe not so much in Canada, unfortunately, because I think the gig is much better there. But so I knew that it would always be a fallback plan, even if I had to do a little bit of upgrading. But not only does online teaching just suit my life better, and I find more enjoyable in that way, it's so much more dynamic. And I mean, if I had to.
the thing I miss is the colleagues.
Yes. Yeah, because we don't really get that in our online industry. It's hard to find a community and really make a connection with other adults. So I hear you with that, definitely.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I miss.
Teresa says, I wanted to go just to say hi to my previously in-person students, not sure about back to teaching. Yeah,
I miss the kiddos. Like, I do miss the kids. I taught kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, and third grade. So It was really fun. It was really fun, but it was demanding. I wouldn't want to go back to just all the stuff that goes into teaching and all the lesson planning and all the paperwork and all the meetings. And I guess I have it the same right now, but it's just different because I'm in control of it more. I don't know.
Yes.
It's just different.
In a
But
way, though, you set your own sort of bar now, whereas I felt like when I was in the teaching realm, I was always trying to live up to somebody else's
yeah,
standard and expectation and these ever-changing goalposts about what was good practice. And
yeah,
now it's what I believe is good practice. So that's easier.
yeah. And how amazing is it to see the fruits of your efforts, right? Like come to be like and to be
Yes.
successful and to see like I built this, I worked so hard at this and I made
Yes.
this and I sold this. Or for your curriculum,
Right.
you've done it. You did the hard things and made it work.
Well, I'm doing it.
You're doing, yeah, we're all doing it.
Present continuous.
Yeah.
Yes, no, and like the emails that I occasionally get from teachers who are like, I wouldn't have gone solo if it wasn't for your curriculum, or your
Mhm.
support on X and Y made this possible or gave me the confidence to do it. And I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it is.
Really
I
awesome.
loved Danny Shaw said he misses some of his colleagues, but not all of them.
But not all of them. Yeah, true, right? Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm almost ready to wrap this up. But before we do, Tim, what 3 top tips do you want to leave us with for diversifying your ESL job?
Get out of your own way, get over your limiting mindset. That would be the first one. Second one, find what lights you up. And third, create the goals and the support network you need to go for it and just do it.
Right.
Whether it's just something simple like going for another company or actually doing your own thing. Our mindset holds us back. And we need to identify what really lights us up and what we're passionate about. And then we need people around us and goals in place to make it happen. So those would be the 3 things I'd say.
Awesome. Super advice. Okay, so you're starting a new cohort of your course launch this weekend. I did notice a question about registering late for that. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what that is and how to get involved?
Oh, did someone ask that in the chat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a course for platform teachers who want to go independent. And the focus of it really is mainly on like if you were working with a company and they've shut down and you've got some students, but you don't know how to put it all together, you're struggling with overwhelm, where to focus, too many decisions to make, not tech savvy, need a little bit of hand holding. And I provide all of that and a community and training and a roadmap and basically do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And by the end of 2 weeks, you will have yourself up and running to launch with your students. And
Oh my goodness.
that's my
That sounds
guarantee. If you
amazing.
show up and do it and do the work, then, I'll help you put the puzzle together. And everybody's puzzle looks differently, but I'll be
Yeah.
there to cheer you on. So yeah, we start on Monday and it's 2 weeks. It's pretty intense if you do it live with me. Like if you're going through it, with the group, it's pretty intense, but hey, a little bit of hard work for a couple of weeks will pay off massively
Yeah.
in the long run. So
Yeah.
that's what it is. So yeah, you can go to
Yay. So how do they get
online.
involved if they want to learn more or register?
So it's onlineteacherdude.com/launch. That will take you to the sales page. You can read some of the students that I had in November and what successes they had, see the 4-module breakdown. We have some Zoom calls as well. But know that it's, I want to be clear that it's mainly for the Chinese market right now. So if you've kind of like, even if you've got one
Right.
student whose mother has said, can you keep teaching me? But you're like, yeah, but how? Then that's
Right.
that's kind of who it's for. If you don't have any students, like I still think you're going to learn a lot about building a business, but a lot of the conversations are going to be geared towards solutions to help with with dealing with China. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
So
and I had a couple people in the
needed.
last cohort that were not teaching Chinese students, but they still got a lot out of it.
Right.
So yeah,
Awesome.
thank
Okay.
you
Well,
for
good luck with
sharing that.
that. Yeah,
Thanks,
sure.
Crystal.
Thanks. Thank you for joining us today or tonight.
Yeah, it was super fun. I like
Yeah,
being
I
on the
think it was
channel,
really informative too. So,
being on the other end of the microphone.
yeah, I know, right? Yes, you did great. So please feel free, everyone, to get in touch. I am Crystal Weber from Crystal Clear ESL, and this is Tim, the online teacher dude. And feel free to reach out and ask your questions. We are really keen to support, right?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Thanks
Thanks,
again.
everyone.
See you soon. Bye.